We are coming to you from the City Beautiful, Chicago, Illinois, where this afternoon Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Jose Abreu, Alexi Ramirez, Adam Eaton, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Robinson Cano and the hot Seattle Mariners. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson as we get set to bring you the finale of this three-game set, and it will be the rubber match. We took the opener 7-1. Chris Sale was just outstanding. Then yesterday, Jose Quintana was just outstanding. We had the lead. We lost it in 14, 3-2. But our left-handers have been going real good. Now we got to get some right-handers going.
Well, Johnny Danks is the third left-hander. They've all been throwing the ball exceptionally well, but when you take a look at what the right-handers have done, and there's been three guys trying to fill two spots. Hector Nuese is 2-5 as a starter, his ERA 4.5. You see Scott Carroll 2-5 as a starter, his ERA up over 5, and Andre Rienzo 4-5 as a starter, his ERA up close to 6. So overall, when you take a look at it, it's 8-15. If the Sox are going to make a run at it, they've got to get more production out of the right-handers, and Hector Nuese goes to the mound. Last time he was wild. Hopefully today he gets the ball over the plate.
Well, our hitters have got their work cut out for them because their best pitching prospect is going against us today.
Taijuan Walker, who hurt himself in spring training and then had a setback before he finally got to the big leagues, now looks like he's ready to go. He throws awfully hard, 95-97. He's got a terrific overhand curveball that he throws at 2 speeds. Last time out against the Astros, he was very good. This is their number one pitching prospect. This is a guy that they believe is going to be a top-of-the-rotation starter. If he is, this team might be able to stay in it the rest of the way. They might need some right-handed power going down the stretch, but right now, we have to worry about the third game of the series.
All right, it is the rubber match of this series and the final of this homestand. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Lexus dealer who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. AT&T U-verse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. Mobilizing your world. And by Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com.
Welcome back to beautiful U.S. Cellular Field where the sun is playing peekaboo with the clouds. But right now it's sunny. It's 81 degrees. Beautiful weather for baseball. And let's take a look at how Lloyd McClendon is going to line up his Seattle Mariners for the game this afternoon. Andy Chavez leading it off with Michael Saunders in the 2 spot. Then it's Robinson Cano, Corey Hart, Kyle Seager, Logan Morrison at first base, and he's been red hot. John Buck, Dustin Ackley, and Brad Miller round it out. The defense and how they'll line up. Left to right, it's Diaz, Eaton, and Viciedo. In the infield, Gillespie, Ramirez, Beckham, and Abreu. Adrian Nieto behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Hector Nuese. Hector on for his 13th start, 2-6, 5.33 ERA. And we are ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Stevie. Thank you. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. So happy you could join us for the finale of this homestand and the rubber match of this 3-game set. Andy Chavez gets set to lead it off. Mariners have won 5 out of the last 6 and 9 of the last 12. And they are 9 games over 500 as the first pitch of the ball game is taken for a strike. Chavez comes in hitting at .252 with a homer and 7 knocked in. Chopper knocks it down, picks it up, and throws him out. Good play. You got to knock it down before you can pick it up.
Nice play by Gordon, who gets to just about everything, and sometimes he corrals it. Sometimes it just rolls right there. Now, he didn't panic. He knows he's got a strong enough arm, and then Chavez isn't quite as fast as he used to be, so he gets him by a good 3 steps at first.
Gordon this year is showing us more range than he's ever shown us, and he always has had good range, but this year has been exceptional.
You know, I think, Hawk, it's a question of being around and anticipating pitches, because anticipating pitches and where they're going on the hitter will get to that extra step.
Yeah, we used to call it you can cheat physically or you can cheat mentally, and that's what it is. And again, we keep referring back to Cal Ripken Jr. He couldn't run a lick, and it seemed like every time the ball was hit, he was standing right in front of him. That's instincts. That's baseball acumen.
And it's reading the ball off the bat, wherever it's going, and knowing a little bit about the hitter and what his propensity is.
And reading the swing. As Saunders had a big hit tying up the ball game in the top of the 9th inning at 2 yesterday.
It was a very, very good third baseman who played a long time, Tim Wallach, who told me that he used to read the angle of the bat through the zone, and he could tell if it was going to his right or left at third base, and he was able to get that first step.
High pop up. Last one. 2 down. Well, you know, all great fielders have had something that was unique to them, unto them. Willie Mays, it was his ears. He said he played with his ears. He said because he could tell with his ears by the sound of the bat how far it was going, and he got the jump. He was able to get there.
Of course, it might have been a little easier in the day when everybody used ash. Today, you might get fooled by the maple.
Good point. No question about it.
Sometimes it sounds like the ball's exploding and doesn't get to you.
If Willie was playing today, every time the ball was hit, he'd be breaking back. So here is their man, Robinson Cano. Cano at .323, 6 homers, 51 knocked in, 3 for 9 in this series.
One of the things you got to be aware of, and we've seen it in this series, when you throw the ball away to Cano, you better be ready for it to come right back to you.
I know one thing, he can hang out some of the most vicious line drives.
been a good hitter for a long time.
Yes, he has. Well, he's a great player. He's not a good player. He's a great player. That ball into left field. We got a man there. That's a nice 1-2-3 inning for Hector. After half inning of players. Seattle nothing, and the good guys coming to base.
Gordon Beckham and Connor Gillespie at the top with Jose Abreu, Adam Dunn, and Alexi Ramirez in the middle. And Viciado having a huge series along with Alejandro Diaz and Adrian Nieto rounds it out. The defensive setup and how they'll line up behind Taijuan Walker. It's Ackley, Chavez, and Saunders in the outfield with Seager, Miller, Cano, and Morrison in the infield. John Buck gets a nod behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Taijuan Walker. That was his major league or season debut, rather. He pitched 3 games last year. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, but he got the win against Houston. He's a hard-throwing right-hander with a big curveball, and the question is, will he be a touch rusty in this only his second major league start?
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. As here is Adam Eaton hitting at 273, a homer. He's driven in 23. Takes first pitch strike at 93. Sox come in hitting at 251 as a club with a 4.26 ERA. Mariners hitting at 244 as a team, but they have a 3.22 team ERA. A lot of teams, you want to get into their bullpen, not necessarily so with Seattle.
Seattle and Kansas City are just as soon stay out of their bullpen.
Well, you know, we've been talking about it. What's this, our 6th year together? And prior to that, for another 5 or 6, talking about it, the game has changed to a battle of bullpens. And one of the greatest examples was that road trip we were just on. If we had had not great work, just good work from our bullpen, we would have split in Minnesota. We would have swept Baltimore.
Yeah, could have easily done that.
Yeah, and we would have won 3 out of 4 like we did in Toronto, because the first game we were out of it. We were never in that game.
J-Happ was just too good and didn't score any runs.
So that's the difference. That we're the poster child for us to become a battle of bullpens. Ball hit sharply.
And the umpires for the game this afternoon: Lance Barrett behind the plate, Ron Culp is at first, the crew chief Dana DeMuth is at second, and Ed Hickox is at third.
You know, and what I just said holds true. Then they'll show you our starting pitching was good.
Starting pitching's been pretty good.
And we had to lead. We just couldn't hold it. So here's Beckham. As he takes that one at 94. Gordon hitting at 252, 7 homers, 24 driven in.
When you take a look at the work the 3 lefties have done, Sale, Quintana, and Johnny Danks.
They got a hanger, a roller right there, and a little quick.
They've all been terrific. They've all been good enough for this team to have put together a fairly lengthy winning streak, or at least you're going to be in 3 straight games, you're probably going to stay out of that bullpen, so it's going to save them. And it's time for the right-handers to pick it up.
Well, we're 41 and 47, 6 under, and if we had decent out of the bullpen, we would be well over 500. Got him. He knew it. So 2 down. And right now let's check out our picks to click this afternoon. Demands our direction to crew with Beck. Steve's going with Alexei. And Terry Hanley, Mike Williams, Eric Aldrich, Roger Clare, and I. We're going to go Viciato. Gillespie hitting at .310, a homer. He's driven in 30. Breaking ball. He did not go. And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straight away center.
Gotten a little warmer since the game started.
Just in the last 10 minutes.
And more humidity coming in and a little rain in the area. But shouldn't be here till later on.
Gillespie 1 for 8 in the series. Jacks it up. Abreu on deck. And there's ball 4. So here comes Abreu. Hitting at .276, 27 homers and 69 driven in. He is 1 for 8 in the series, that being a homer.
As you can see this year, tied for first in home runs with 27. Slugging percentage, first. Runs batted in, third. Extra base hits, fourth. All shaping up to be a Rookie of the Year year.
Hey, if he keeps going and our team plays pretty good, he might have a shot at an MVP.
I would think if this team plays a couple games over 500, maybe gets up to third, knocking at the door for second perhaps, you can make a good case for him to win an MVP with the numbers he's going to project to.
Yeah, if not one of the guys on a division winning team has a, like a Cabrera hitting 45 or 50.
I was going to say, like Cabrera every year in the consideration.
Right. That change up outside.
Yeah, Mike Trout's another guy that you figured the Angels are going to be right there, with or without the trade. Of course, they countered by acquiring Joe Thatcher, which is left-handed equivalent of Samardzija and Hamill. But maybe some deals. Maybe
cool.
Well, there's some deals to be made down the road, I'm sure.
That's cool. I'm glad you're just taking political correctness and throwing it in a trash bag where it needs to be anyway. That
trade for Oakland for a good piece of the present. Made them a lot stronger baseball team.
That's foul back. Well, it just conceivably could have made them the best team in the game.
Because the knock on Oakland over the past 10 years, a team built for 162. Get them into the playoffs. They just don't have good enough pitching in 3 of 5 or 4 of 7.
Now, Verlander said that trade was made for them.
Could very well be, especially after they had just swept Oakland. And there you see the Mariners 6 games back, with the Angels 3.5 back of those Athletics.
That ball hit hard. Get down. It will. That was the last base. We'll pull in the third on the single by Abreu, and that'll bring up Adam Dunn.
Chavez doesn't get to this. Gillespie's going to score. That ball was right down the middle. Appeared to be a straight change. And that is a work in progress for Walker.
Adam hitting at .225, 12 homers and 33 driven in. 0 for 5 in this series. How many wild pitches? He has 9. But he hasn't had many innings either.
It's just his second start.
Well, that's the first thing, one of the first things you think about when you get a youngster out there on the mound. Hard thrower especially.
With a good curveball.
Two and 0.
.6'4", 220, and now Lloyd McClendon's coming out. Lloyd, a former major league catcher, and also a guy who increased his value to the various teams that he was with because he could play about 4 or 5 different positions. And if one of them, as it was as a catcher, he'd become very valuable.
Well, talking with some Seattle people last couple of days, they absolutely just adore this guy. I mean, they say he has just changed the whole attitude.
I think Lloyd's terrific.
They're talking about how they have the true ringleaders in changing the attitude have been Lloyd and Felix Hernandez.
Well, Felix has decided to rededicate himself, worked out hard, got his legs in much better shape than they've ever been before, and he's just been an outstanding pitcher. He's always well respected, because how could you not respect a guy who pitched that well with such poor baseball teams? But he's a leader.
And there's a strike. Usually when the manager goes out there talking to a rookie, they say, look, I don't care if he hits the ball out of the ballpark. I don't care if they get base hits. I just don't want you walking anybody. So just get right after him. Go right after him. And the first 2 pitches, he's come right at him. 2 on, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out.
He does have and has developed a little cutter. And that's going to take that fastball, because a hitter's eyes are like a computer. They see the fastball. They know how quick their hands can get to the bat and the sweet spot. And the cutter just takes it off the sweet spot. And that's what he's been working on.
Full count. And that's ball 4. Here he comes, and he will score.
One of the things that Walker didn't do was take off to the plate as soon as the ball got by Buck. He was a spectator on the mound. And that one might have been caught. It wasn't. And Walker did not break to the plate immediately, and that's why Gillespie did.
So his first wild pitch plates a run Forrest. And that'll bring up Alexei.
Rick waits. Making a call. And it's usually to the bullpen when that happens.
Alexei hitting at 288, 8 homers and 41 knocked in. Takes a breaking ball strike. Pretty good curveball right there.
He's got a dandy. It's just hard to get a real good feel for it in the first inning. We also have seen that he doesn't get a real good feel for the strike zone here in the first. We saw Dominic Leone thrown yesterday. And he's back.
Ball hit sharply. Nice pick right there by Miller. That ball, that's a hang whooping for Alexei. Meanwhile, on the wild pitch, we pick up a run and we lead it 1-0.
Game brought to you by Miller Lite.
And a reminder, Sox fans, celebrate Christmas in July at the ballpark on Monday, July 21st. Now, the first 1,000 fans to purchase tickets will receive a White Sox Ugly Christmas t-shirt. Also, there will be holiday drinks for adults at the Comcast Xfinity Zone and Miller Lite Bullpen Sports Bar. Tickets start at just $15 for lower level seats. So to purchase, visit whitesox.com/Xmas. Corey Hart. First pitch, hunting, soft single in the center field.
He had a base hit yesterday coming in the 9th inning. At the time, it put runners at first and second. And that led to the 2-run 9th that extended that game into the 14th. The Sox eventually giving way to these Mariners.
So here's Kyle Seager. He is 1 for 9 in the series, hitting at 278, 13 homers and 59 knocked in. So Hart will mosey on in the second on the wild pitch.
Heads up base running because as soon as that ball went into the dirt, Hart was going. That's wild pitch number 5-4 with the Sox. And look at Hart. He reads it immediately and then takes off.
There's a strike.
Last 32 games, hitting .315 with 5 homers, 26 driven in. That's a big number. But he's been very quiet thus far, which is normally not the case for a very good third baseman.
Last year hit 22 homers, drove in 69. Two and one. Leadoff man at second with nobody out if you're just tuning in. Trying to hook it, and he did.
Well, normally he's a pull hitter anyway. This situation dictates hitting the ball to the right side at the very least. With that in mind, the shift is on with Alexi playing on the first base side of second, charged with holding Hart close.
Jammed him. Nice pitch. Ate him up. Cannot get the job done for a big out.
He threw this fastball up and in. Seager cannot get the hands out, can't get the bat out, and can't get the job done.
Here's Logan Morrison. Swung the bat very well yesterday. Hitting the ball hard. Comebacker. Good job right there by Corey Hart. So 2 out. You know, it's just not us, because we have really run the bases very poorly this year. Overall, we have seen some of the worst base running this year from all teams.
I'm not sure, and I am sure that they work on it. I'm not sure how much they work on it, because a lot of guys bring in a special base running coach to go over in spring training, talking to him about what to do in certain situations. The one thing that's very difficult to teach, and I don't think you can, is instincts.
Well, I know how our club works on it. That was one of Robin's priorities because of how bad we ran them last year. And they worked on it very hard. And that's why it's so exasperating when you work on it that hard and you still create the same mistakes almost on a consistent basis. They'll tell you there's some lack of instincts there.
And if you don't have them, you're not going to get them.
That's out of play. But it's just not the White Sox. It's everybody in the American League. Seeing guys get thrown out at third when there's no way, shape, fashion, or form they should be. Making the last out at third. Buck hitting at .238, making his first plate appearance of the series. Big, strong catcher. Boy, a few years ago, Kansas City started off like gangbusters.
A lot of early home runs.
Had 15 home runs in a heartbeat.
And then all of a sudden, poof, just hit the wall. Those are the career numbers, and at this point it has made him a backup catcher.
Ball gets away. He gone. Good throw by Nieto. So they'll go to the bottom of the second, leading 1-0.
Hashtag Chicago Fan Photo for a chance to have it shown on our broadcast later in the game. It's brought to you by AT&T. A lot of youngsters on hand at the ballpark. It is a very, very nice afternoon. Getting warmer as the game moves along. 81 degrees at game time. It's up to 84.
It's a 1-0 Sox lead on a wild pitch from Taijuan Walker. 21-year-old, 6'4", 230-pound right-hander. For our guys, it'll be the lower third of the order. Viciedo, Diaza, and Nieto. And a reminder, Sox fans, you can come to the ballpark decked out in white and blue, Greek flags, or even traditional Greek costumes for Greek Heritage Night on Tuesday, July 22nd. Our Sox are offering specially priced tickets to everyone with Greek heritage, their family and friends. And tickets start at just $10 for lower level seats. So to purchase, visit whitesox.com/GHE. Tank takes up high. Tank 5 for 7 in this series with a homer and 2 knocked in. Another breaking ball drops that one over, and the count evens at 1. Big rip at a 93. And Rangers continue to scuffle. They're trailing the Mets 5-1. Top of the 5th in New York. Coming in, Rangers 11 games under 500.
Pretty amazing.
Ball high and deep in left center field. Back in Jimmy John territory. He just missed it.
Well, starting to travel a bit more as this rolling curveball does not have late break and just able to stay with it. Just miss hitting it out of the park.
That'll bring up Diaza. Hitting at .224, 5 homers, 25 knocked in. Change up. Cleveland. And Corey Kluber leading Kansas City 4-1. That's in the top of the 6th.
Alejandro's gotten a whole lot better as the season's moved along. In his last 25, hitting just under 350. He scored 10. He's driven in 8. 6 stolen bases, and the on-base percentage very impressive at .405.
Count hangs at 0-2. Top of the 2nd at Target Field. Yankees leading Minnesota 3-0. Velasco on the bump for the Twinkies. And tonight, Tampa Bay taking on the Tigers at Comerica. Price against Porcello. Porcello 11-4. There's a little soft fly ball in the left field. Ackley's got it. 2 down.
They convinced Rick Porcello that he just didn't have to throw full max effort each and every pitch. They got him to pitch, use that sinker a bit more, and don't be afraid to use the four-seam fastball either, the one he can ride inside to the left-handers. And he's become a much better pitcher these days, and we keep forgetting how young he is and how early he came up. So he's right in the middle. Yeah, he's right in the middle of what should be his banner years.
Well, a lot of times with young pitchers, that works down in the bullpen or on the side. Once they get in the game and the game starts, it disappears.
It goes away, huh?
They want to go pedal to the metal with every pitch. And a lot of times, less is better. Nieto. Adrian at 237.
Clipping 25. He's got 72 wins. That's pretty good.
But he's gotten better and better each and every year. Mound presence has improved. He's always had good mound presence, but now he's excellent mound presence. But, as I've said, and I'll say it again, they can be had. They're not going to complete a lot of games. I think they only have 2 or 3. I believe 3 completed games this year. So the bullpen is going to have to do what it does with every club. And it's a battle. When it battle of bullpens, most of the time they're going to lose.
Well, you would expect that Dave Dombrowski would get something done for this trade deadline.
Well, right now that's the second hardest item that's a foul ball to address. The first being get yourself a good catcher. And next, get yourself some good bullpen help, because nobody's going to trade their good bullpen help. General managers finally are starting to understand they better have a good bullpen.
I don't think they're trading too many good catchers either.
No, that was the first thing. The second thing is get yourself you can't get a good catcher, and you can't get any good bullpen help. That ball hit hard. Nobody's going to get that one. So the 2-out double by Adrian. That is his 4th two-bagger.
Adrian hits his ball right on the nose. It's a good sinker. It's actually a terrific pitch, but he just goes down and gets it. You certainly don't want to try to pull that blowing away, and he hit it right in the gap with plenty on it.
Adam Eaton hit the ball hard to Cano. And that curveball into left field. That's a can of corn. And that'll retire the side. So we have a 2-out double by Nieto. Can't do anything with it. We'll go to the 3rd leading 1-0.
Wednesday, two proud organizations are playing for bragging rights, and those bragging rights at a premium. It's White Sox, Red Sox, Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Comcast Sportsnet.
Justin Ackley will lead it off. He'll be followed by Brad Miller and then Andy Chavez. Ackley coming into professional baseball with a tremendous amount of publicity. This year hitting at .227, 4 homers. He's driven in 28. Last year hit .253, 4 homers, and drove in 31 as he starts this inning off with a sharp single to center.
This is the man that Seattle is waiting for. They drafted him in the first round, the second player picked overall. And he was the best college hitter in the country at North Carolina. And for whatever reason, it just hasn't happened for him in the major leagues quite yet.
Well, everything is self-induced. It's there physically. It's there. You don't come out of college being the best hitter in Division I baseball. Because that's the long peg. Nice little shift right there by Jose. So 1 out. But you don't come out of college being the best hitter in Division I. And then all of a sudden you lose it.
You forget how to hit?
Yeah, right. So it's just between the ears. The approach. That's what youngsters coming out of high school who are just overpowering everybody, coming out of college where hitters are just overpowering everybody, when they get to professional baseball, they have to learn, you better work on your approach. You can't use that same approach against major league pitching. Chavez bounced out to Beckham, who made a nice play on it.
There's a good spot. You're 0-2. You got a couple of pitches. You throw a face-high fastball. A real good chance of being 0-3.
Breaking ball.
Andy has had a very long career. Used to be blazing fast. Now still fast enough to play center field, but his big base stealing years are over.
Here you go. 2 down.
He kept this one up, but it's a changeup. And an 88-mile-an-hour changeup at that.
So here's the right fielder, Michael Saunders. Popped up to Gillespie.
He had 3 hits and a walk in that 14-inning extravaganza yesterday. With runners in scoring position, Michael Saunders has been pretty good. Add in the fact that he can play all 3 outfield positions easily, and you've got yourself a valuable left-hand hitter.
He still hasn't even come close to touching his potential.
No, they've been waiting for big things from Michael Saunders for some time.
Little nubber. Take your time. Let's get men to retire with Cano on deck. Meanwhile, we go to the bottom of the third, still leading 1-0. ultimate all-inclusive White Sox experience in the home plate club are Magellan Scout seats. Now, these 2 premium seating areas are the best way to entertain your most important clients, your employees, your friends, or your family. So for more information, call 312-674-1000 and visit whitesox.com/premium seating.
Seattle's trying to buck a trend here. And it's not the trend of fans keep falling asleep watching their games. It's the fact that they are 5-22 since the start of the 2008 season against the Sox. And the last series win in this ballpark, 2007. This game, of course, the winner does indeed win the series.
Now, we didn't win a whole lot of series in 2007.
Not a particularly good year?
No. Here's Beckham. Better than Lance, but no. Gordon struck out, called out. Yankees now leading Minnesota 6-0. Tops the foul. That one at 94. Jacks it up. And now he said he did not go.
Would have made first easily. Ron Culpa said he didn't swing.
Gordon will take that. But he did the right thing. You cannot assume anything. And there's a prime cliche that says, don't think you hurt the club. A ground ball and a curveball. So 1 out.
Seager's had a good series defensively. Hasn't swung the bat as well as he would like, or he normally does, but you know, that other half of the game, catch the baseball, you make a lot of friends in that pitching staff. You continue to catch the baseball.
Well, if you think now, every series there's going to be somebody that wears it. Yeah. Now, every time he hit the ball hard, he's hit it right at somebody. That bullet he hit at Sierra yesterday was just, I mean, he can't hit it any harder than that.
We get a little fortunate on that one.
But we made some good pitches on him.
Well, in looking over the lineup, and Morrison hasn't had enough at bats yet to be in that category, but you look at Cano, you realize you like to try to make sure he doesn't beat you. And the next most important guy is Seager.
Sure. If Seager's swinging it bat well, he can give Robinson, if in fact it's that particular situation, because every scenario is different. But if anybody in Atlanta can give him any kind of protection, it would be Seager.
He's got a little over twice as many home runs as Robbie has.
But nobody in that lineup is going to protect him in the game changer, so to speak. You got a 4-0 lead, bases loaded, 2 out, bottom of the 9th inning. Cano comes to the plate. You might as well go ahead and win it 4-1. As there is ball 4. So for the second time, Gillespie walks. Third walk issued by Walker. Here's Jose. He hit a sharp single in left field. Good job by Endy Chavez to cut it off. Looking for it, got it, and just underneath.
Walker got very fortunate. That fastball at 93, but it was down the middle of the plate, and it was up in the strike zone, the upper reaches of the strike zone. But normally, this one gets hit pretty hard.
Yeah, when he's looking for it, and he was. Walker is one of those pitchers that, you know, these motivational signs that some colleges put as the players like Notre Dame and other players go down the runway going out to the field. If you had a motivational sign against a guy like Walker as you coming out of the dugout or out to the dugout, it would be cover the fastball, boys. Cover the fastball. 0-2 the count. If he gets 3 curveballs over, I'll take the strikeout for you.
Not a whole lot of guys in this day and age of baseball, the way it's played, that can get 3 curveballs over.
Thank you very much.
They just can't.
Thank you. And guys, a lot of guys will say you're right. But then that's enough. It goes. That's the end of it right there. Not many guys going to get 3 over in one at bat. And I speak from experience. It took me 5 years to learn that.
That was somewhat surprising. That ball was up. You would think at 0-2, and this is where Gillespie has got to be heads up. At 0-2, you got to bury that slider or curveball in the dirt away from a big power hitter. You're way ahead in the count. He's just been on, but just missing your fastball and a straight change that was in the neighborhood of the fastball. Let's see if this one will be down the way.
Yep.
And so he does get him, and Gillespie does wind up at second. Second wild pitch of the game, and it puts Gillespie in a scoring position.
And first base was occupied, in case you're wondering. You're out. The ball gets away like that, so first base was occupied. Here's Adam. He walked his first at bat. One, 2, and 0 for us. 0-2 and 0 for them here in the bottom of the third. If you're just joining us.
The Yankees did pick up a pitcher. It was our old friend Brandon McCarthy. Got him from the Diamondbacks for Vidal Nuno. And after making that deal, they designated Alfonso Soriano for assignment.
Three and 0.
And here's what the deal looks like. 18 starts, 3-10, the ERA 5.01. Now the walk to strikeout ratio is good. Major League career 15 under. And maybe some new life with the Yankees will help Brandon, but he is going to a pretty tough division, that AL East.
Well, Lloyd McClendon, knowing that Adam Dunn was hitting 3-0 right there. Said, just go ahead and put him on. And here's Alexei. Alexei hit the ball hard, and Brad Miller made a nice pick on him to get the force on Dunn at second. That was to end the first inning. Breaking ball, no. Alexei took that breaking ball very nicely. Two out, two on. Oh. That was it.
Took a little something off. This was only 89 miles an hour, and it split the plate. You see, Buck wants it low and away, and this ball just was supposed to be a cutter. It just didn't do anything.
Yeah, he was looking. Alexei was looking for about a foot quicker than what he got. Another one. That one at 87. There's a good job by Alexei.
That ball was just off the outside corner. It was not a strike, but it was too close to take. So he just reached out and spoiled a very good pitcher's pitch.
That was just a slow roller right there. And another good job by Alexei defending that plate.
Sixth pitch was right on top of the fourth pitch, and Alexei with good plate coverage. You see our Menard's pitch tracks, and you can see there's no 4 there, but it's right under the 6.
Took a little something more off that curveball and got it. So that'll be tied to the side. We'll go to the fourth. It is still a 1-0 Sox lead.
Red Sox in-game live on Comcast Chicago.com. CSNChicago.com, brought to you by Comcast Business Class.
Cano, Hart, and Seager, the heart of their order. Cano lined out to Diaza in left field in the first inning. Noesi catches the break. 0-1 the count. And very quickly, 0-2. Sox will conclude this series, this homestand, board their charter after this ball game. Head on over to Boston for a 4-day trip. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, night games, and then Thursday, day game. Then we'll go to Cleveland for 3 to finish off that 7-game trip. You got away with one right there.
The Bostons have really been scuffling. 39-48. 8 games back, and probably more surprising than anything else, I can't remember, as we head into 40 games played, they're under 500 at home, 21-23. That is most unusual for that club. There's a look at the standings with the Orioles. 1-game lead over the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays might have lost Edwin Encarnacion for a while. Looked like he stepped on the first baseman's foot. The play at first base, he went down. He had to be helped off the field. It did not look good.
He gone. 1 out.
Straight change.
On that Boston series, we're going to run Carroll, Banks, Sale, and Quintana out there. They're going to run Buchholz, Workman, to be announced, and then their number 1, John Lester, on Thursday afternoon. Corey singles softly to center field, leading off the 2nd inning. Back there for a 3-1 count. And he loses him. That's the first walk issued by Hector.
After having the control issues last time, he's been much more aggressive here today, getting ahead of guys early. And even whether it's a base hit or not, and he's given up 2 leadoff singles, but gotten out of the rest of the inning with no problems.
Well, if you miss that last start that he made against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, he did something that I've never seen done in all my 55 years in this game. Gordon tried to make his own hop right there. Couldn't do it, and that'll be an error.
Gordon probably figured if he could pick it, he could get 2. Instead of knowing that it was a really tough hop. I mean, Gordon knew it was going to be a tough play, but he figures picks it, he gets 2. He goes down and tries to smother it. He'll get 1. As it turns out, unfortunately, he picked up the E.
That's exactly what he was thinking.
Yep.
So here's Morrison. Been in Hector's last outing against the Angels. That ball high into right field. Tank is there. Corey is tagging. And Tank's going to get back into second base. So what he did against the Angels, he walked the leadoff hitter in an inning 5 out of 6 innings.
That's pretty amazing. And
I've never seen that done.
And get away with it.
Yeah.
And not get knocked out of the game.
I have never seen it done. Now that's only happened 6 times where the same guy walked the leadoff hitter 5 times, but the other 6 were 9 inning games, 8 or 9 inning games.
That's something.
So here's Buck. Yeah, talking about the Red Sox. Team leader in RBIs, of course, is Big Papi with 53. Then you got Pedroia and Napoli tied for second with 32. And AJ is 1 behind him at 31. So for a team that's really been having a lot of trouble scoring runs. That'll tell you one thing right now. You cannot let Big Papi beat you.
Well, sometimes it's tough to go around him, but if you have a choice,
well, you got to.
He would be the guy to go around.
Yeah, as I said, you know, if you get a 3 or 4 run lead, then that makes it easy, especially late in the innings. Instead of having a 3 or 4 run lead, say the bases are loaded, then you just have a 2 or 3 run lead. That is becoming more and more prevalent as the culture of this game continues on its ways.
And the Boston's second to the bottom, only ahead of Houston, the batting average in the American League.
Buck can't get it. Yeah, they've been having a lot of trouble. AJ's had actually RBI wise had a good year for him. Being just 1 from second.
And they are last in the league in runs scored, which is also somewhat amazing. Especially when you look at that lineup.
I've never seen that much movement. Well, I'll put it this way. It's been a long, long time, if ever, that I've ever seen that much movement of personnel by the Red Sox. Calling guys up from AAA. Minor leagues. Runners at the corners, 2 out, 2-2 the count. Their pitching has not been exactly stellar.
No, not horrible. Not great. They're 5th in the league. 3.86 ERA.
That's softly hit. That's the Doc Edwards shot right there. Meanwhile, they'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. It is still 1-0 good guys. Plaza, presented by Pepsi on Saturday, July 19th. Noche Tropical celebrates the music and passion of the Caribbean. So come and enjoy the music and other activities for fans of all ages before the game at Gate 5. For specially priced tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit whitesox.com/tropical. Getting back to that Boston pitching, their starters have a combined 4.17 team ERA, which is 5th worst in the league.
That's not going to get you very much.
No.
But they make up for it by Buchholz being very slow.
Well, you know, look at what they lost. So they lost a ton when Ellsbury left.
There is no doubt.
I mean, just out on the field, not just what he did on the field, in that clubhouse and everything else.
Well, not only losing him, but having him go to your #1 rival, although it hasn't helped the Yankees to this point. The Yankees' problem has been largely pitching, but Ellsbury meant so much to the Red Sox, and you deduct them and then add them to the Yankees, that is a big loss.
Well, yeah, when you lose a guy like Ellsbury. The Yankees, well, if you look at them, they have played pretty good for what they've been running out there. They're 500 coming into the day, but if they had Robinson Cano, they would be well over 500. So that payroll.
And a whole lot poorer.
Well, I
don't think they were going to go to 240 for him.
They have what we call Yankee money.
Yeah, they got through that. Through those bugs.
And when they get involved, most other teams will just fade away. Tank almost took him out of here. His first at bat, just missing a home run, taking Chavez back up against the fence, almost in front of the Jimmy John sign out. Curveball, no. There's the leadoff walk. That's the 5th walk issued by Walker. And here's the answer.
It's also gotten to 77 pitches, and after yesterday, with 5 pens been used, you find the advantage of having a 13-man pitching staff because they have an extra move down there.
Well, they're in much better shape today in their bullpen than we are in ours.
They are, and they got their bullpen up and going as Walker has had a hard time finding the strike zone.
Daza popped up to his counterpart, Ackley. Takes the bunt, takes the strike. And if you're watching this series for the first time today, Seattle coming in 9 games over 500. They've got a tough ball club. They've won, as I mentioned, 5 out of the last 6, 9 out of the last 12. But when you run a good left-hander out there against them, they're in trouble.
They had to start both days. 6 left-handers in their lineup. Lloyd McClendon really had no choice. That's the lineup that he has. That's the lineup he has to run out there.
No options. No options.
You're not going to score a lot.
That ball hit into right field. It's going to hang up. The Saunders. So 1 out. No, Lloyd is limited in certain areas, as is our Robin. As is every team in baseball. There are certain areas that every team is limited in. I would say if there's one team that's limited less than any other team in baseball, if they're healthy, it's the Dodgers.
$240 million payroll, you shouldn't be too limited.
No, you shouldn't. You should be pretty well covered at every base, you know.
and the guy behind him too, because they got 4 quality outfielders for 3 spots.
They just keep coming. That's the way the Yankees used to look. They just kept that 40-man roster, and then all of a sudden the 25-man active roster. They just kept coming at you. Look at this. Look at this. Right over to Seager, who makes a nice peg to get Nieto. That ball was ticketed to center field. Dadgummit.
And now they're going to take a look at Walker to see if he's okay. That ball was hit awfully hard, and unfortunately it goes right to Seager, who makes a good solid play. That would have made Adrian 2 for 2, 2 bullets.
That double he hit in the second inning, and then that rocket right there.
Took the World Cup for a second. Directed it right at Seager.
This is bad luck for Adrian.
He doesn't get too much of a chance, but he has been pretty impressive when he has gotten a chance.
And he's getting better and better and better. Here's Adam. Hit a sharp ground ball, bottom of the first inning, leading off to Cano. He flied softly to left in the second. Pick him up. Let's get a little mow going. High chopper, and that will end the inning. So we get the leadoff walk, and we're into the 5th, still leading 1-0. Here in the top of the 5th inning on a beautiful day here in the city. Beautiful. 86 degrees, 5 degrees warmer than when we started. Checks it up. He did go, yes. Ackley, who singles sharply into center field, leading off the 3rd. Pretty good pitch, didn't get it. But we've had a good umpired series in the first 2.5 games. That ball hit hard. We got a man there right in front of Jimmy Johns.
There's a young man, resplendently decked in his White Sox gear. Very happy to be in the court.
Looks like our Hank, my grandson Hank.
He's a little younger, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's getting there in a hurry. He's swinging a golf club already.
He is.
Yeah. Here is Brad Miller. Good rip. Brad out of Orlando. Or Windermere, which is just next to the Orlando line. Just tuning in, 1-2-1 for us, 0-2-0 for them. Gordon. Ball took a funny hop on him. Miller. Had a boy. Adam gets to it quickly.
And Gordon smokes Dana DeMuth. That was kind of an interesting play at second. Gordon saying, sorry, pal, but trying to get the ball and didn't notice you there.
So that'll be a base hit, as it should be. And that'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Chavez, who's grounded to Gordon and struck out.
And when this gets back in, watch Gordon. Ooh. Dana stays on his feet.
Gordon. He's getting his work in today.
He is that.
He's ranging far to his right, ranging far to his left.
You know, you have those days where you go as far as you can, and sometimes the ball just sticks in the glove all the time. Other days, you go as far as you can, the ball either hops over, skids under.
Boy, and that's the truth. And most of those days that you're having to range like that, your legs are sore, starting the day off. And if you're an outfielder, if you're getting a lot of throws, your shoulder's killing you when you go out there.
Yeah, most of these guys out there today went the full 14 yesterday, or pretty close to it.
Well, I played right field in Fenway, and I have been out there before when I just prayed that the ball would not be hit. My shoulder was just like a toothache. Because every throw you make from right field in Fenway is a long throw. That's out of play.
There's a young fan making a fine play.
Miller 3 for 4 in stolen bases. And 1-1 pitch. There's a bunt. That's a good bunt. And a good play by Nieto, taking charge.
And the best part of this really was Adrian thought he had a shot and thought he had a better shot than Nuesa. We've seen Hector come in and try to barehand these and have some problems with them. And Adrian felt all the way like this was his play. So he called for it and gunned him down at first base. Very good effort. It goes as a sacrifice, 2-3.
That was a terrific take charge play by Nieto. So here's Saunders. Fouled out to Gillespie. And hit a little soft comer backer to Noesi. Fouls it down. And Miller making the right move. Again, you cannot assume anything.
Well, he doesn't know if the ball was fouled or not.
Yeah.
He just saw it get by and figured eventually the umpires are going to tell him. You certainly can't trust the infielders to tell you. Just occasionally, they might not give you the straight story.
There's another soft comebacker and a nice play by Hector. And it'll retire the side. We are halfway home, leading 1-0.
interesting information.
Good stuff, Chuck.
And hopefully there will be 3 Sox at the All-Star game in Minneapolis, because certainly all 3 of them deserve it. And we will find out, well, probably find out while we're on the plane on the way to Boston. So we've got a new pitcher coming in after a whole lot of pitches from Walker. Dominic Leone. It's 2-1 ERA, 2.06, 38 strikeouts in 35 innings. And right-handers haven't done a whole lot with him. We did not see him in the doubleheader yesterday. We did see him in the first game. He went a perfect inning, that being the 7th inning, where he went right through Eaton, Beckham, and Abreu.
Well, there's a good example in this Taijuan Walker with that good late movement on his fastball. He didn't have as good control today. He walked 5 guys, but he only gave up 2 hits, and that's what a guy with good stuff can do. He can go out there and not have as good control, not have his real good stuff, and still get by.
Well, this is only his 2nd major league start this year after a couple of injuries and a setback. And so you can see why they're so encouraged by him.
No question about it. He's got a good looking arm.
Well, he battled through shoulder problems in the spring, was coming back throwing off flat ground, then had an impingement problem, which set him back another 10 days to 2 weeks, and now he is back.
Gordon fouls that one away soon near right side. So the line of Walker. 4 innings, 1 run. It was earned. That coming in the first inning. 2-out walk to Gillespie, a single, a walk, then a wild pitch. One down.
On that collision at second base, we saw that Gordon went down, Dana DeMuth didn't, but watch the left knee of Dana DeMuth. Gordon kind of gets him, and Dana hobbles away. Now, during the commercial break, you'll see that the 2 guys at the corners, Ed Hickox and Ron Culpa, went over, and they had a word with Dana DeMuth. And Dana wasn't moving real well at this point.
Gillespie gets hit in a bad spot.
This one catches him, and it got him right on that bone on the side of the knee. Herm Schneider's probably taking care. Well, he was taking care of Dana DeMuth, and now he comes out. Seattle trainer came out first because Herm was taking care of the umpires, so that's just professional etiquette. And looks like they're going to take him out of the ball game, so he is really hurt.
Yeah, that's a bad spot.
That's going to bring Liuri into the game.
That's Rob Nodine, assistant to Rick Griffin.
Well, understanding the situation, understanding that that Hermie had gone in with Dana DeMuth, he came out, tried to do what he could, and then Hermie, when he heard what had happened, came back out.
So Liuri.
And here's really the end of our tale, is Dana DeMuth limping off and Hermie taking him down. They're going to take a look and find out if everything is okay, and they're going to go with the 3 umpires.
Well, after seeing the replay of it when it happened, I'm surprised that Dana stayed in there for the rest of the inning. A pretty good shot he took.
Yeah, it was inside of the knee also.
Want to know the count? Abreu is 1 for 2. He had his 18-game hitting streak snapped yesterday. So he's hit 19 out of the last 20. First and third. There he fakes. And that's popped up right side. Everybody's got a long way to go. Nice play by Cano.
Don't get too much smoother than Cano.
He makes everything look easy.
And Leury, with a normal second baseman, was justified. He was about halfway because you know that Saunders is going to play very, very deep in right field. He probably is not going to get to it. And there's Robinson just allowing it to drop ever so casually into the glove.
Well, we touched on it yesterday. One of the smoothest players to ever play this game.
Yes, sir.
Everything looks so easy to him. Just back in. Then you had guys like David Eckstein.
Max effort.
Max
everything was max effort. And then some.
Yeah.
But when your nickname is Just Enough, then you know that it's max effort. Because he would heave it from shortstop and get there a half step ahead of the runner. And he has got 2 World Series championship rings to show for his efforts.
Yeah, boy, I used to love to watch him play. Every time he threw the ball from shortstop, it looked like he was going right over the first base dugout.
It didn't have enough hang time to get over the dugout.
It didn't.
Just kind of dropped.
He got right about where the pitcher's mound was and started dropping. 2-0 the count. Adams walked twice, once intentional.
Looks like everybody is okay, and that's a terrific break because that one really went pinwheeling into the first row right next to the dugout.
That one has some giddy up on it.
Yep.
I've gotten to the point now I don't even look after all these years.
Everybody was very, very fortunate that time.
Remember the shot of Jim Rice when that youngster was hit by the Red Sox dugout?
Yes.
That cured me. Ever since then, when a ball goes into the stands or bat, I don't even look. I saw that, and that's the last one I've ever seen. Three and one. And that's the third walk of the game issued to Adam. So a strikeout, a hit by a pitch, a pop-up, a walk. And here comes Alexei, who was 0 for 2.
John Buck's left arm is going to be substantially longer than his right, because most of the walks today have been on pitches way up and out of the zone, and he's 6'4". He's had to leap up as Rick Waits comes out. He wants a word with his battery. It's still a one-run game.
2 on, 2 out. All right, Alexi, it's time. It's that time. Over to Cano, and that'll retire the side. We have completed 5, and we lead it 1-0. Take on Houston at 6:10, and all fans are invited to stay for a post-game fireworks show presented by Northern Illinois University. Northern Illinois University, learning today and leading tomorrow. So purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
Leary Garcia, who came on to pinch run for Connor Gillespie after he was hit, stays in the game defensively at third, and if we find out anything, we will certainly pass it along. He left the game after getting hit right on the side of the right knee.
And also, if we find out anything about Dana DeMuth, who was hurt, we will let you know. Here's Cano. He is lined to left and struck out. 1-2-1 for us, 0-3-0 for them here in the top of the 6th inning.
This is where Cano becomes very dangerous. It's just a 1-run game. And now you're falling behind 2-0.
Well, he walked to lead off the 9th inning yesterday.
Yeah.
And that started that 2-run rally that tied the game, and they win it in 14. And people, not good solid baseball fans, they know. But there are a lot of people out there who don't understand just how tough the 25th, 6th, and 7th outs are to get, as there is the dreaded leadoff walk.
Well, that's why in many of the conversations that we have, and doing a whole lot of radio shows, and we have fans who call in all the time, and they talk about guys who throw so well in the 7th and so well in the 8th, and why in the world, why can't they throw in the 9th? Well, there's a lot of people that throw well in the 7th and 8th, but when you look at the closers around the major leagues, you might find 7, 6, 7, maybe 8 at any given time lockdown closers.
Corey Hart takes that. Well, the analogy is the NBA. The last 2 minutes, there are guys
who wants the shot.
There are guys in the NBA who don't want anything to do with that leather basketball. Last 2 minutes of game. And you got the other guys like Michael. They want it.
Yes, they do.
There's a big difference in being 5 down with 10 minutes to go in a basketball game or being 5 down with 2 minutes to go in a basketball on who wants that ball.
One of the reasons why San Antonio won this year is they had 3 guys
who wanted
the ball.
Oh, sure. It's just like who can make that putt on the 72nd hole. Pretty easy to make them on Thursday. A little tougher on Sunday.
I was going to say, as the day moves along, it's sequentially tougher.
One of the greatest things that I've ever been told by a great player in any sport. Jack was by Jack Nicklaus. He was giving me a lesson one day working. We were down at Lagos in Miami, and he said, "Let me tell you something, Hawk." He said, "Anybody tells you that people don't choke, they either don't know what they're talking about or they're lying, because I choke." And that was coming from Jack Nicklaus. Two and two the count. Full count. No activity for us. That's the I should say, the 67th pitch. And after yesterday's bullpen work, I'm just hoping that Nuesi could give him some innings today, which he's done so far.
You just might get a chance to strike him out, throw him out here.
Can 06 for 8 in stolen bases. He's sneaky. He has that great instinct. He'll take it when you're not paying any attention, but he's got a pretty good lead over there. He does not go. He gone, and it would have been with that. They'll strike him out, throw him out. Meanwhile, one down. That's a big out right there.
The big out with Seager coming up next. Throws him a changeup, and the bottom drops out.
That was a big out with Jimmy Johnson coming up. But Seager is tough. He is dangerous, and that's a compliment you can pay a guy. Almost every time he walks to that plate, he is dangerous. The year he can't get there, a little Doc Edwards foul ball.
That was the same type of pitch that he threw when he popped him up in the second inning. As he tried to move Hart along, couldn't get the job done, and Hart didn't score.
And we just get a report that Gillespie has a bruised right knee. That's a bad spot to get hit. And if you missed it,
if he gets it above or below where he got hit, he's probably still in the game, still playing third.
that's up high at 93. Nice. Nieto keeping it in front of him. And a final from Cleveland. They beat Kansas City 4-1. Kluber making his way to being one of the better pitchers in baseball. Now another 3-2 count.
And you would think this time Cano would be going. He was not running last time. And it's not that Seager doesn't strike out, because he does. 68 times, but 315 at bats. So he doesn't strike out all that often. Lloyd McClendon thinks there's going to be contact. He would like to stay out of the double play.
Alexei getting behind second, and then as Noesi goes into his stretch, walking to his right over a little bit, right in the arm slot to Seager. That's a high pop up and backing out of play.
Cano was going, and with Alexei where he's lined up, if he does throw it by him, just put it in the neighborhood.
Payoff. There he goes. He's safe.
There's a double clutch on the part of Nieto. Otherwise, he's got him. Now watch Adrian. Right there, he drops his hands. He couldn't see that he was going right away, and of course there's no tag, so there's no out.
So 5 strikeouts now for Hector. And here is Morrison, who has bounced back to Noesi and gone out to right field.
I think if you give him something too good to hit here, you're making a mistake. Because you've got Buck coming up next, who hasn't done very much, and I think that's most likely what Don Cooper is coming out to tell him.
That's exactly what he's going out to tell him. Coop watched Morrison hang out some line drives all day yesterday.
Morrison's been swinging the bat well the entire series.
They get a little bit of a modified shift on him, and he can't get that one. Took something off. And put 7 more miles an hour on that one at 94. Just off the corner. That's where Coop told him, get it hard, high.
He kept it just at the top of the zone, threw it right by him.
That ball hit hard, but we get a man there. Playing him perfectly. Hauls it in. That'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the sixth. It is still 1-0 White Sox. Doing the things you love. So visit Athletico.com and start defining your pain-free inner athlete today. Athletico, the official physical therapy provider of our White Sox. Athletico, better for everybody. Bottom of the sixth inning, 1-2-1 for our Sox, 0-3-0 for their Mariners. For us, it'll be the lower third of our order: Viciedo, Diaza, and Nieto. Tank just missed hitting a home run leading off the second inning, and he walked leading off the fourth. Took that pitch nicely. Get a pretty good idea on how Tank feels at the plate by the way he takes pitches. Big swing. Tank now 5 for 8 in the series with a homer. One and two. He had the barrel on that one, but underneath it. Outfield straight up, spread out. Buries that one in the dirt. Takes a nice hop right there for Seager. 1 out.
Before the game, Lamar Hoyt, Cy Young Award, 1985. with a little help. It's Matthew. Hoyt making the throw for Lamar. What a year he had in 1983.
One of the great years in White Sox history for a pitcher. As here is Diaza, is popped up to left and lined out to right. Takes low ball one. That year, phenomenal. Started off 14-26. Came roaring back to win 99 games and win the division by 20. Nice top foul. Dotson. If Hoyt hadn't had such a big year, Dot could have won the Cy Young. But Hoyt, I've never seen a right-handed pitcher, with the exception of Dennis Eckersley, but I've never seen a right-handed pitcher who could hit backdoor to left-handed hitter with a curveball on a consistent basis like DeMar Hoyt. One and two. Plus, Hoyt was one of those guys, if you knocked one of our guys down, he's going to knock two of yours down. If you hit one of our guys, he's going to hit two of yours.
That earns a lot of respect from your teammates who know that you're going to protect him.
Loved him. And what was not to love? He's a great guy. Had a great year, sensational year. That's off the plate. With his demeanor, you wouldn't have known if he won 24 or if he lost 24. He was the same all the time.
It's like Mark Burley.
Yeah, same way. Baltimore had a pitcher like that. Mike Cuellar. Same way. Catfish Hunt was like that. Mel Stottlemyre was like that. That's in the dirt. Got plenty of time. And that's out number two. So here's a guy who has hit the ball right on the money twice, once for a double and once off the foot. Taijuan Walker. Carried him right over to Seager and he threw him out. So that was a hang wiffle.
Hang with him, it would have been first and third and only one out heading to the top of the order. So it would have been a vastly different game if that one got through.
Strike right at the top of the zone. Well, Dana DeMuth had a good game. Ed Hickok's had a good game. Lance Barrett's having a good game. Well umpired series. Tee him up right here. Zone him in, reel him in, and light him up for your first one. 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Got him. And that'll retire the side. We'll go to the 7th. It is 1-0 Sox. 1-0. It'll be the lower third of their order. Buck, Ackley, and Miller to face Hector Noesi. He's given up 3 singles in this game. 1 to Hart, 1 to Ackley, and 1 to Miller. So here's Buck. He struck out. Then he hit a little soft, little looper to second base.
Well, exactly what Robin wanted from Hector Noesi is what he's given him so far. Take the game deep. Right now, only 9 outs to go.
Buck with a good rip at it. Meanwhile, 0-1. That was just the 80th pitch. Ball hit sharply. And that's out number 1.
As we promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to #ChicagoFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in our broadcast. That's brought to you by AT&T. There's a handsome animal on a gorgeous day, waiting no doubt for the second dog day.
And here's Ackley, 1 for 2. Takes that breaking ball high. Day back on July 6th, 2003, home runs. 3 of our guys. We beat Tampa Bay 11-3. Creedy. And there's a sharp single in the hole.
Eric Surkamp throwing in the pen.
So here's Brad Miller. He's 1 for 2.
Figured he would be used liberally in this series with all of the left-handers. Brandon Moore. He has a very hard throwing Moores.
One-handed catch. One of the fans. Like he took it off the chest and still controlled. Bottom of the 7th in Fenway, Baltimore leading Boston 6-1. Top of the 9th in Pittsburgh, 6-2 Pirates over the Phillies. Phillies scuffle. And there's a base hit by Miller. So 1 out, 2 on.
That fastball caught the inside part of the plate, and now Don Cooper's going to come out to have a word with Hector. At the time go-ahead runs on, Surkamp continues to throw in the pen. And the top of the order up.
While he's out there, we'll check some more scores for you. Mets leading the Rangers 7-4, bottom of the 8th in New York. Yankees 9, Twins 4 in Minnesota. Cleveland beat Kansas City 4-1 at Progressive Field. Cincinnati beat Milwaukee 4-2 at the Great American Ballpark. Miami shutting out St. Louis 4-0 after 6 in St. Louis. Cubs and Washington tied at 1, top of the 8th in D.C. Braves, who have won 9 in a row, trail the D-backs 3-1, bottom of the 9th inning. Addison Reed on for the D-backs.
Diamondbacks struggling, and the Braves doing what they do in most years. They sit around 500 for a bit, and then all of a sudden start to get terrific pitching and start to distance themselves.
So here's Chavez. He is 0 for 3.
That was pretty good because Adrian pointed down to third base, not realizing that there are only 3 umpires. And so Ed Hickox is the guy in the middle of the diamond on this check swing. There he is. Ed says no anyway. And he laid out a pretty good bunt in the 5th inning. But was thrown out on a terrific play by Nieto.
That is high and deep into right field. Mariners are going to tag. Blackley's going to move him to third. Look at the throw by this. Wow. If Miller had tried it, it would have been a gone goose. Meanwhile, runners at the corners now, 2 out.
Here comes Robin, and that is going to be it for Hector. He's not going to be allowed to face Saunders, who, despite not having hit today, is a pretty good hitter. And we're going to see Surkamp, I believe, come in and try to be that situational left-hander that they wanted when they brought him up. And so Eric comes in. A nice hand for Hector Nuese as he departs. He did a whale of a job today. And we'll step out and be back after these messages.
Girls ages 5 to 12 and will be in over 60 communities this summer. So call 630-PLAY-BALL or visit FullSoxAcademy.com to find a camp near you. White Sox summer camps are sponsored by Athletico, by Beggar's Pizza, by Comcast Sportsnet, by Scion Sun Times Media, and by WSCR 670 The Score.
Eric Surkamp comes into the ball game. He's on for the 6th time. His ERA is 6.75. It's 2 2/3 innings. And he has to learn, after being a starting pitcher most of the time this year in AAA, he's going to learn how to be that situational left-hander. One of the things that benefits these Mariners is the fact that their left-handers routinely face left-handed starters. You don't see that very often. And so it is a bit of an advantage when you're not startled when you're forced to face a lefty if you're a lefty hitter.
2 out runners at the corners. Saunders 0 for 3 today. Had a big hit in the 9th inning yesterday to tie the ball game at 2, and then they won it in 14, 3-2. Got to throw a strike. Surkamp came in yesterday to pitch to Cano leading off the 9th and walked it. Started off that 2-run rally. And there's a strike. That one at 90. You definitely don't want the man on deck
under any circumstances, unless he's leading off the next inning. And now Don Cooper is going to come out, take a long, slow walk, and have what probably won't be the friendliest conversation. Not that he wants to put more pressure on Eric, but he's going to suggest to him that he get the ball over the plate because you can't pitch here like that. Only now you're doing it against one of the league's best hitters. Time now for the AT&T Uverse Multiview. Got pretty decent speed all the way around. Not great, but good speed.
Well, this is a blue plate special situation right here for Robinson Cano. Here he just walks the guy to get to him, which Robinson's smart. He knows what's going on. He knows he didn't want to do that. He's going to be looking first ball, fastball. If he doesn't get it, he'll take it. And breaking ball. So
you're not going to take this one for the club. You'll take a few, but not one at your head.
And now here it comes. Taking it all the way, as we mentioned. Cano will take a strike in the majority of at-bats that he has.
Where were the bases loaded? 318. 9 slams.
That breaking ball is going to get him. We got a man there. So Surkamp retires Robinson Cano with us. Bases loaded. And a reminder, today USAA would like to pay special recognition to all of our service members at home and abroad.
Ladies and gentlemen, at Major League ballparks across America each Sunday, the singing of God Bless America is performed in support of our country and our men and women stationed overseas. Please welcome Jen Porter for the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home.
Brandon Maurer comes in the game on for the 11th time. Last year he started 14 games for this Seattle team. This year, entirely out of the pen. 1-4 ERA up there. Got a big fastball.
So after a tough outing yesterday pitching to one batter, Surkamp comes on and retires the same man. Only this time with the bases loaded. One of the best hitters in the game.
Threw that fastball for a strike. It was somewhat surprising that Cano took it, but he did, and then he got him out on the curveball. Good pitching for Eric.
1-2 the count. I was very happy Robinson took that fastball.
Yeah, I was very surprised.
But he takes strikes. He's just, you know what I'm saying? It's an old saying, show me a guy not afraid to hit with 2 strikes, and I'll show you a hell of a hitter.
Well, he just wanted to see that fastball. He wanted to see if he had some extra movement
exactly
on it.
what he wants to do.
Just see if it has some extra movement, then adjust.
Look at the guys we mentioned the other day. You know, Wade Boggs, how many times? Rod Carew, 7 times led the league in hitting.
Well, one of the greatest is the late Tony Gwynn.
2 strikes didn't bother him one bit.
He said to me, I'll take 5 pitches to get that 6th that has too much of the plate.
That's popped up. Ackley fighting the sun. And that is out. Number 1. Yeah, those guys that
if you're not afraid to strike out, and then you have great recognition and know what a pitcher's pitch is and know exactly what you can do with it or what you can't, then you can wait, and eventually you'll get the pitch. Good play up the middle. And because of the defense and the positioning, that's the way they got Gordon Beckham, because you don't see them play him up the middle very much with the second baseman. You see where Cano is lined up, and that ball goes to the right side of the pitcher. And Cano casually flips it across and gets the out.
Two of the most fun guys to watch play in this game are Cano and Beltre. Adrian Beltre.
Texas mentioned that they're not going to shop Beltre, but they will listen to trade offers for him. He could be a difference maker.
Well, when you hear that from a general manager, that means he's on the block.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean,
he's on the man.
Look where they are.
He's just trying to, what they call, be politically correct.
Right. There's no way in the world we would move him unless, of course, you give me somebody who I can use. Then I'll save a lot of money. And oh, by the way, we're 16 games back, so we're probably not going to make a run at it this year. If you're John Daniels, you're looking to bail out of some cash.
Boy, that didn't take long. 1, 2, 3 in a hurry. And we're into the 8th. isn't quite over yet, because be sure to vote for the final player for each league roster today through Thursday. You check WhiteSox.com today to see who made the team and vote for who should get the final spot on each league roster.
And we've got a new pitcher in the ball game, and it is Jake Petrichka. So Jake, who pitched a third of an inning in relief of Quintana yesterday, comes back again. 38th time. 0-2. ERA 193. It looked for a few moments that he would pick up his first win of the year yesterday. It was not to be. And Jake has been very good out of the pen.
Jake has been one of our saviors out of that pen. Since Lindstrom. Nate Jones went down.
And a few of the guys got some wildness streaks.
Well, Matt's coming along just fine. I mean, he's walking normally, he's throwing some, so that is good news. And here's Corey Hart, takes Lone away. Hart 1 for 2 with a walk. That ball's hit hard. Can he get there? Yes! He can! Yes, he can! Beautiful play by who else but Adam Eaton?
Adam Eaton has had one of the great defensive series that we've seen. This looked like it's going to be for sure 2 and possibly 3 if it gets by. Eaton goes across, full out dive, and makes the play.
Is he fun to watch or what?
And this one could be a game saver as Jake Petrichka recognizing that that's one of the better plays you'll see, and it happened with him on the mound. Go at him.
I'll tell you, first rule in baseball is catch the baseball. And Adam's pretty good at it. So here is Seager. Takes the strike. Seager has popped to third, reached on an error, and struck out. They got a shift on for him. What a play by Adam. Mercy.
He got such a great jump on that ball. That sinking line drive slicing away from him off the bat of Hart, because it got out there in a hurry.
Well, there's only one way you can get a jump like that. That's by being into the game. He's 0 for 4 today. He's not taking that 0 for 4 out to the field when he puts that leather on. The only way you can get a jump like that is be into the game, and he is. Gordon with a nice pick, nice peg. Throw some leather out there, guys.
Let's go back to the glove work of Adam Eaton. Chris Sale on the hill. This one slicing away from him, goes into the gap to take 2 away, secures the baseball, and then takes a tumble. This one even more remarkable.
Oh, man. I love to see great defense. Yes, here is Morrison. And you being a pitcher, you love it as much, if not more than I do.
He would be a wonderful man to have behind you.
Well, and you know, I was just looking at that one shot that he had there. You know who brings a ton of energy to this ball club? Moises Sierra. He brings a ton. He's in that dugout. He is patting everybody on the fanny, picking them up, pulling for them, because that's foul.
The loss in that sequence was the middle play. And that was a play that Javi Guerra just threw up his hands with that look of Christmas morning on his face. That was the one that Adam went back to the wall on a knuckleball that he had to reach back across his body and make a great catch on. 3 spectacular plays in this series.
Yeah, when you're running left, you got to reach back to the right.
Something.
And look at this. Yes! How about that for 3 plays in the inning? Catch the ball, boys, and you're doing it. Just witnessed, if you've been watching with us, one of the best defensive innings you will ever see in this great game of baseball.
And if you love the beauty of the game and realize that, yes, I mean, hitting home runs and scoring runs, that part's really good. Watching a dominating pitching performance is great. But watching good defense, in some cases great defense, is equally as exciting, and that was as good a defensive inning as we'll see.
That is, I'd rather see that than anything. I'd rather watch that kind of an inning than anything. There's a shot caught by Cano. That's a hang Wolfham for Abreu. He's now 1 for 4.
This ball just rockets off the bat of Abreu. Can hardly hit it any harder. And Cano right there to make the play.
Yeah, that inning was something special right there. And what makes it even better is the fact, I mean, it's beautiful anytime. If the score is 12-0, it's beautiful. But when the score is 1-0, that even magnifies it. One, 2-1 for our guys. 0-5-0 for their guys. The only run we have scored on a wild pitch. Taijuan Walker. Adam has been to the plate 3 times today. If you're just tuning in, he's walked 3 times, once intentionally. 2 down.
Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and it's our Miller Moments, and we'll concentrate on defense. Off the bat of Corey Hart, Adam Eaton goes and robs him with a double, possibly a triple, a tip of the cap, and why not? And a fine play by Gordon Beckham, who's been ranging far and wide, and he puts a pinpoint throw on Kyle Seager. And then it's Jose Abreu. With Jake Petrichka getting over there in time and out of the inning with 3 gems.
Alexei takes ball 1. He's 0 for 3. I would dare say that this might be as much as Gordon has ever run in a game at second base.
He's been going pillar to post.
Come on, Alexei, get on for Tank. Tank's really dangerous. Three and 0. That's 4 and 0.
Say in the grand scheme of things, that could be the biggest walk of the ball game. Keep the inning alive, especially if Viciedo does something here.
Well, he's liable to. He's dangerous. He is taking the pitches very nicely, seeing it a long way. He's had a couple of real good pitches to hit. He's had the barrel on it today, but just underneath it. That one he hit leading off the second inning took Chavez up against the left center field wall. Alexei, decent lead. Another good swing by Tank. Alexei 14 for 17 in stolen bases. If he goes to 2 strikes, he's going to be off. Way high, 1-1. Yes, sir, this is a very, very fun club to watch play. Bacon has turned this thing around big time. Not too hard, 24. Little chopper, Mauer. Mauer does a good job. Retired. 6 of the 7 he saw with that one walk. Meanwhile, we're into the 9th. We lead it 1-0.
fine play by Adrian Nieto, taking command, getting Nuese out of the way, and making the play at first base. It goes as a sacrifice, but Endy Chavez was bunting for a hit, and he didn't get it. So Moises Sierra checks in the game in right field. As Jake Petrichka needs 3 outs.
And he's got Buck, Ackley, and Miller. Buck 0 for 3 today. Ackley 2 for 3. Miller 2 for 3. Buck takes it up high. Can't get it. One and one to count. One and two to count. He gone.
Pretty good pitch. That ball had the outside part of the plate. John Buck said it's wide. It wasn't wide, and it wasn't low.
Here's Ackley. He and Miller, the on-deck hitter, both have been hitterish today. Takes first pitch strike. Pulled a string on him with a good motion and had him way out of sorts.
Ackley swings at the motion. The baseball doesn't get there quite yet. And he's in a 1-2 hole.
Just got a piece of it on another one. He gone. 2 down.
Set him up with a couple of changeups and then went back to the heat. Good movement on that last fastball. The two-seamer. And Ackley swings right through it. So went out away.
Miller's 2 for 3. 2 shots. First pitch strike. That change up high. Ball lined hard into left field. Yes! Throw some leather out there, you White Sox. What a game. And this ball game is over. So the Sox take the rubber match. And what a job by Noesky.
Noesky did a great job. Surkamp came in for a third, and then Jake Petrichka finished it up with 2 strong innings. He faced 6. He retired all 6. Picks up the save, preserves a 1-0 win, and what a defensive effort. And the Sox take 2 of 3.
Well, the first rule of baseball, catch the ball, and that's what they did today. And our GMC professional grade player of the game is our 27-year-old right-hander Hector Noesky, our GMC professional grade player of the game. So for my partner Steve Stone, our director Jim Angio, our producer Mike Leary, our associate producer Dave Ross, our technical manager Mark Harper, to the mayor, me, Joe Groove, also for the executive producer Jim Cornell Jr., and for Tom Hoover, Frank D'Amato, Dennis Wood, Doug Bullard, sound, this is the Hawk. So long, everybody. Coming up next, Subaru Postgame Live with Chuck and Bill. You've been watching White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet.